Yes, people, welcome back to another video on Thai Sports where we're talking about the Everton midfield maestro. He's back, and he's back with a bang. It's a player that I've always liked. I told people when they signed him in the summer, he is ready for the Premier League. He's ready to play consistently. He's ready to make an impact. He just needs a manager that believes in him, a system that works for him, and a place where he can feel like home. And it's another team in blue. Leicester City, Chelsea, but it's Everton. And it's Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall. A massive win for Everton on the weekend before they go into the Premier League fixture this week against Bournemouth at home. But I think I just want to touch on Dewsbury-Hall because I feel like the start of the season he had, him, Ilman and Dye, Jack Grealish, it's been brilliant for Everton so far this season. They're eighth at the moment in the league, showing that consistency, trying to compete for the European spots. But I feel like when you see players go injured or, go out for a few games suspension or whatever it is, you really can feel the impact that them players have on that team. And obviously, Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall's been out for a few weeks now with the injury that he suffered. And he's come back, and Everton just look different again. They just look buzzy. They look busy. You went 1-0 down away at Fulham on the weekend, and that can sometimes be a tricky place to go. And Fulham are not in bad form, by the way. Let's respect Fulham. We've got some decent players there with Harry Wilson, Iwobi, Smith Rowe, Jimenez and stuff. Some consistent players there. But Everton really dug deep. They fought themselves back into the game, and you win the game late on with obviously a Jake O'Brien / goalkeeper mistake that goes in. But you keep fighting, and Dewsbury-Hall was the player again to rescue them and get them back in the game with that goal in the last 10, 15 minutes. But this is the thing about Dewsbury-Hall. I just feel like his energy is so infectious. Like, there's certain players on a football pitch or in any sport, in a team sport, that when they're involved or when they're there, they just give you 5% boost. They just make everything else seem better. They seem to make every other player look and feel better. And I don't know if that's because his intelligence, his give and goes, his one-touch passing, his ability to ball carry, create space for others. But Dewsbury-Hall is like an all-action sort of Premier League player. He can do a bit of everything. I'm a Man United fan, and when they won at Old Trafford, when they had 10 men, he was brilliant. Winning fouls, travelling with the ball, taking it from that side of the pitch to the other, passing through the lines, retaining it well, not just wasting the ball when he had it, keeping it, securing it for David Moyes and his team. And I just feel like with him now back in that team, he just provides something for Everton in midfield that they've been lacking. Obviously, James Garner's having a good season. You got Idris Gay come back from AFCON. You got Ima Brigurum, but I don't really rate him, if I'm totally honest with you. So when you look at like Everton's midfield, it's a decent midfield, don't get me wrong, when they're all fit and they're available. But when they're not, I feel like the quality drops off quite quick. And to have Dewsbury-Hall now back in the team, I think is a massive, massive plus. Just looking at their team now, because obviously they played against Fulham on the weekend, you can see that Dewsbury-Hall was playing in the number 10 position. You had Idris Gay and Garner back. That is the midfield that is Everton. That is their right midfield right now. You got Idris Gay, a destroyer, experienced Senegalese international, won the AFCON, been there, done it. He'll give you 110% all the time. You got James Garner, nice technical player, can take set pieces, gets up and down the pitch, got the legs, got the dynamism. He's young as well, energetic. And you got Dewsbury-Hall, who just buzzes around. So you've got a nice profile midfield there. Obviously, you've got Armstrong playing at the moment due to the injuries to Jack Grealish and stuff. Dwight McNeil can't really get into the team right now. Tyler Dibling can't really get into the team right now. So you've got obviously Armstrong playing, even though for me, I'd like to see Dibling get a start and try and get a run of games going. But obviously, David Moyes must not fancy him, to be honest. But I think that in Dye and Dewsbury-Hall being back for Everton, it can get them building again. Because I feel like Everton, I'm not saying that they're falling off because they're in the top 8. Like, they've not fallen off, but I just feel like with them, they went a bit flat. And I think everyone can agree with that. Everton just went a little bit flat. And obviously, you look at the league table at the moment where they are, and 8 for me is a good season for Everton so far. Like, I don't think that Everton will be looking at that and thinking, do you know what? Like, that's bad. I think they would have taken top 10. I think next year, Everton are the team that want to be pushing into Europe. That's how I personally look at it. But, let's have a look at their fixtures. What have they got coming up? Because obviously Everton will be pushing on now, trying to make a difference. And they've got Bournemouth at home tomorrow night. Now, that's the game you're looking at. And Bournemouth are a bit like Everton. Some good players in there. Sometimes like a bit of consistency. But there's an opportunity there for Everton to kick on after that Fulham win and get a win against Bournemouth. I don't think Bournemouth is the best team at the moment in terms of their form. I think they've got 2 wins in probably their last 15. So it's not great for Bournemouth, even though they do have some individually good players. But I think with Dewsbury-Hall, Ndiaye and Kiernan Barry there, Ejisage and James Garner, they've got that framework back. And I just think it's a perfect time for Dewsbury-Hall to now continue his good form before they then take on my club, which is Manchester United on the 23rd of February. So obviously we've got the not international break, we've got the FA Cup break, and that's going to be a big Monday night game under the lights. Everton are going to be up for it, and then they go to Newcastle away. So when you look at these games for Everton now, they're not just gimmies. Bournemouth's going to be tough, United's going to be tough, and Newcastle away is going to be tough, even the form they're in. But these are the type of games where you want your best players to be involved. These are the type of games where you need to, get a result from at least 2 of them if you want to try and continue to get that run in Europe. Everton have got a great stadium. They've got great fans, and I respect them. And I think that they're the type of team that if they can get European football, players like Ndiaye might give them another season. 100%. Branthwaite might give them another season. Even though he's been injury prone, obviously big teams are probably still sniffing for him, but he'll give them another season. Then you can go and invest and get in some more better players that are going to help you try and maintain that position, because Everton have got a good manager. They've got a good system, good framework, good fan base, and good stadium. Everything's pointing to that direction of, right, get top 10 this season was my aim for them, and then next year Europe. But if you can achieve that quicker and give the fans something to love, then why not? But I just think Dewsbury-Hall being back is brilliant for them. So far this season, obviously, he has been delivering. I know the stats aren't, oh my God, they're amazing, but 18 games, 5 goals, 2 assists. So he's got 7 goal contributions in 18 games. Bearing in mind, obviously, he's in a team that's not creating loads, and the team sort of runs through him. Obviously, Grealish is out now, so I feel like it runs through Dewsbury-Hall and Ndiaye. But, 5 goals, 2 assists. If Dewsbury-Hall can get to the end of the season and even get 10 goals in the Premier League, which I think he can get 5 more goals in the Premier League this season, fair play. For a midfielder at Everton to get 10 goals in the Premier League, not a problem at all. If you can be a consistent 10-goal man every season in the Premier League from midfield, you're doing and you're playing in that sort of attacking zone, you're doing your job 100%, because you're looking at it and thinking, okay, well, you're working hard on the pitch, you're tracking back, you're ball carrying, you're helping your overall team with your all-round play, and you're contributing in the final third with goals and assists. Brilliant, because I don't look at Dewsbury-Hall as one of them players, and I say it about Amad Diallo, just a random perfect comparison with what I'm going to say. Different positions, but hear me out, Everton fans. Amad Diallo, for me, at Manchester United, plays on the right wing. Does he score every week? No. Does he get an assist every week? No. But do I notice him on the pitch? Yes. Working hard, ball carrier, being creative. It just looks good, technically sound. When Amad's not there, you can feel it. Something's missing, but he doesn't have to get goals and assists, because Amad. He's just a good player. Sometimes you just need good players on the pitch. And I feel like Dewsbury-Hall's that player as well. Whether he's scoring or creating, that doesn't matter, because if he's on the pitch, you can feel his impact. You can see it. They're just a bonus because he's playing in the attacking zones. You want him to get goals and assists, of course. But if Dewsbury-Hall's on the pitch, you just feel comfortable. You feel more positive as an Everton fan. And I think that's what you saw this weekend with your win away at Fulham. Now, can you kick on? Can you carry it on? Ndiaye, Barry, Dewsbury-Hall, that front three there. Let's see what happens. Ejisage, Garner, that staple midfield there. Let's see what happens for Everton Football Club. But I just wanted to mention Dewsbury-Hall because I think it will go under the radar that he's come back from injury. But I think that goal will give him a lot of confidence again. And I think he's been one of Everton's best players this season and one of the best signings in the Premier League this summer. Guys, make sure you like this video. Make sure you subscribe. And I'll see you on the next one.